Outsourcing accounting work to India is one of the most powerful strategies a U.S. firm can try out today, but it's also one of the most misunderstood. It isn't just about cutting costs. It's really about unlocking growth. So let's break down how you can turn the potential challenges of outsourcing into a real, tangible competitive advantage. So let me just ask you this. What if your firm's biggest bottleneck isn't actually in your office, but in your whole approach to staffing it? What if the key to scaling your business, to making your clients happier, and to freeing up your absolute best people is actually located halfway around the world? It's a huge question for sure, but the answer might really surprise you. For decades, the model was pretty simple, right? Everything was done in-house. But that way of thinking often leads to crazy high operational costs, a team that's completely burned out, and painfully slow turnaround times, especially when you hit busy season. But now, a whole new way is popping up. Strategic offshoring offers dramatic cost savings, the ability to scale your team up or down whenever you need to, and a 24/7 workflow that gets work done while your U.S. team is fast asleep.
But of course, it's not as simple as just flipping a switch. Handing over critical work to a team thousands of miles away, well, that comes with some very real concerns. Acknowledging those risks head-on is the absolute first step to overcoming them.
And you know what? Those concerns are completely valid. Business leaders worry about communication breaking down, about data security, about quality control, and of course, about navigating all those complex regulations. So let's actually break down how to solve each and every one of them.
Okay, first up is the human element. How in the world do you build a seamless team across entire oceans and time zones? The key is to actually turn those differences into a strategic advantage for your firm.
Let's just be blunt here. A 12-hour time difference can absolutely kill a project. Think about it. If a simple question asked on Monday in New York doesn't get an answer until Tuesday in Mumbai, you've just created this frustrating cycle of delays that can doom the whole thing right from the start.
But here's the playbook to fix it. First, you've got to get everyone on shared cloud platforms so they can collaborate in real time. Second, you strategically schedule just a few overlapping work hours for those really critical face-to-face discussions. And third, you establish crystal clear expectations and reporting rules from day one. You do this, and that 12-hour difference goes from being a bug to a feature, a 24-hour work cycle.
And it's not just about the clock on the wall, Different work cultures can lead to misunderstandings in everything, from how you solve problems to just simple communication styles. If you don't manage this proactively, you're going to create a lot of unnecessary friction.
So the solution is to build one cohesive team culture. It all starts with cross-cultural orientation, and that's for both teams. And it requires constant, open communication. When you get everyone aligned around the same goals, those cultural differences just kind of fade away, and a single, truly collaborative environment emerges.
Next, let's tackle the operational nuts and bolts, security and quality. This is all about building that framework of trust and precision that makes outsourcing actually work.
This is so often the number one concern people have, and for good reason. The whole idea of sending your client sensitive financial data across the globe, it just feels inherently risky. How can you be absolutely sure it's protected?
While the solution is a robust and verifiable security protocol, this isn't about blind trust. It's all about systems. Like you see here, you need strict file encryption, you need comprehensive NDAs and confidentiality agreements with every single team member, and you need regular security audits to make sure everyone's following the rules. With controls like these in place, you can ensure data integrity.
So the next question is always about quality. Your clients and your regulators expect absolute precision. How can you possibly guarantee that an offshore team will deliver work that meets those demanding U.S. accounting standards?
The answer is all in the process. Look, you don't go all in on day one. You start with a small pilot program to test and refine your workflows. Then, you provide incredibly detailed templates and standard operating procedures, leaving nothing up for interpretation. And finally, you implement a really rigorous review and feedback loop. That system is how you guarantee consistent, high-quality output every time.
And that brings us right to the final major hurdle, making sure that all the work is fully compliant with that complex web of U.S. financial regulations. The stakes here are just incredibly high. U.S. firms are bound by GAAP, IFRS, SEC regulations, you name it. An offshore team's lack of familiarity with these rules isn't just an inconvenience, it's a huge risk.
So the compliance playbook is really a three-part approach.
First, dedicated training on U.S. standards is a must. Second, a strict review process where your U.S. team always gives the final sign-off. And third, and this is crucial, you partner with an offshore firm that already has deep experience with U.S. regulations. That combination is what minimizes your risk and ensures full compliance.
So, once you've solved all these challenges, what happens next? Well, this is where the story really shifts from just mitigating risk to unlocking a massive strategic payoff. It's about moving from simple cost saving to active business building.
Now, what's really interesting here is how these core benefits stack up. I mean, yes, the cost savings are dramatic. We all see that. But the real game changers are the ability to scale your operations instantly to meet demand and the faster turnaround times that let you serve your clients better and faster than any of your competitors.
And this right here, this visual, this is the ultimate prize. Before outsourcing, your highly skilled, very expensive in-house team might spend, say, 75% of their time on routine operational tasks. After outsourcing, that completely flips. Suddenly, they're spending 75% of their time on high-value work, client advisory, strategic analysis, and actually growing the business. You're not just saving money, you're reinvesting your best talent where it truly matters most.
And that brings us to the most important takeaway of all. When you do it right, with the right partner and the right processes, outsourcing is no longer just a line item on a budget. It becomes a powerful, strategic engine for your firm's growth.
The reality is, firms of all sizes are already making this shift. The challenges we talked about are real, but as we've seen, every single one of them is solvable. So the final question is a simple one. Your competitors have already started their engines. Are you ready to start yours?